My name is Marcos Trinidad, and I'm the Center Director at the Audubon Center at Debs Park. Yeah, so we're here at the 2022 California Naturalist Conference here in Tahoe, and it has been great, just really amazing conversations happening, conversations that I'm really interested in when it comes to this field being accessible and trainings like the California Naturalist being accessible for my community, which is the Latino community. I'm here, I was presenting earlier on what it's like to decolonize a conservation movement, and what are some of the things that we need to do as a big, large green organization to make sure we're building that trust and also staying accountable to our communities while we're also true to our mission. I would call it a myth that the Latino community, that BIPOC are not outdoors. I often say if we're not outdoors, where are we? The thing is that we are outdoors doing different things. And I think the movement, if we're talking about the conservation movement, may make assumptions about the Latino community based off of things that they are actively doing. So if you're out bird watching and you don't see people of color bird watching, you're going to make the assumption that maybe they don't like bird watching. It's just that we culturally are doing different things at different times of the day. We don't go to a bird walk and then go to brunch. If we can't bring our whole familia, we're probably not going to go. If I'm going to go on a bird walk and my kids are going to be there, they're going to be allowed to be kids. And if they're getting looks from the other birders because they might be scaring the birds away, it's going to be a very different interaction. We need to understand as a conservation movement that people of color, Latinos, are outdoors doing things that they find that brings them joy. And understanding that all use of outdoor space is valid, and understanding that we are responsible as a conservation movement to make those connections. It's important to make connections with community-based environmental organizations, because those are the organizations that are on the ground doing the work. They're the organizations that have already built trust in the community. I think it's important for our Latino youth to really be engaged by folks that look like them in this field. People that are able to understand what it's like growing up in a Latino community, understand what it's like waking up in the morning and having to do our family chores and going to places with our families. And those are things that I feel we can bring together with goals and priorities that the conservation movement has in terms of environmental protection. It just looks different and manifests different when those conversations are happening with the community. Youth, already curious. We need folks that are going to be able to bridge that curiosity with the knowledge and the facts and the science to really pave a way for them to be involved, because they're already into it. But we end up losing down the road because we can't compete with media. We can't compete with the famous TikTok stars and all of that stuff. We're just, bird watchers and folks that love to be outdoors. So we have to find ways to make it interesting. We have to understand that the conservation movement needs those youth more than the youth needs us as a movement. So what we need to do is make it relevant to where the communities, the youth, can participate. If you don't have things for the family, you're not going to get the kid. So understanding that there are so many things that go into play. Now, the flip side is that the youth are going to be engaged by something. We need to jump on that something. And if it is going to be a cyber future, we're not going to win that war. But we can tap into some of those resources and engage community and nature using things like iNaturalist or eBird or the Merlin app or the Audubon app, because they are engaging. How do we make that so it's not us asking youth to choose media or screen over nature? It's understanding that we can do it all. I really want to encourage everyone to continue to be open when it comes to nature. Make sure that you're setting yourself up for observation. Nature is all around us, whether in a beautiful place like this, like in Tahoe, or in an urban setting like LA. Nature is there. We just need to be open to that engagement and that experience. Another thing, Human Nature from Alias Studios. If you want to hear about urban nature and some cool stories, go check it out wherever you get your podcasts.